Welcome to the franchise. I'm your host, Daniel Ehrenberg. This is episode 62, and let's bring in my co-host.
Hello, everybody. This is Henry Papali. Welcome, indeed, to episode 62 with our very special and third-time recurring guest, Aaron Farinelli.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
You're beating other people by 2 guest appearances.
It's true.
We've only ever had people on once. We've had you on 3 times.
Yeah.
Well, I'm honored, and I'm glad you guys brought me back. I was worried you wouldn't let me back in after the Predators, Alien versus Predators, but I guess that didn't go so bad.
That's one of my favorite episodes. Are you kidding me?
God.
I discovered for the first time the majesty of Aliens versus Predator Requiem, which I still will recommend to people to this day.
I still will not, but it was a very fun episode. Yeah,
I had a great time.
And today you've brought us another, we wanted you to do The Predator, because we know you're a fan of the franchise. This is the first time you're coming on with an Aaron Farinelli pick.
Yeah, and actually, to be honest with you, I've never seen either of these films before, so this is just kind of flying blind.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I had a couple other suggestions, but you guys were doing a summer theme.
Yeah,
so
this is the last week of our summer movie extravaganza.
So upon a Google search of summer movies, it was pretty much between, I had narrowed down to 3. Is between this, Caddyshack, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. The problem with both of the other franchises is, one, I Know What You Did Last Summer has another one coming out soon.
No. The problem with I Know What You Did Last Summer, because I would love to do that franchise, because I Know What You Did Last Summer and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer are interesting. And but there's a third weird straight-to-DVD one. And I feel like we should have to cover that, too. That one's called I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, but there's a fourth one in production that's due out soon.
All right, so let's save it. We'll do it then.
Yeah, you need to get to be completists at that point. But also, like, if we did Caddyshack, I mean, it would be like the first film would be mostly us just quoting lines from Caddyshack, being like, "Oh yeah, this movie's good."
I've only seen it once, guys. Can't quote.
Yeah, I don't know Caddyshack very well at all.
Oh well, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Right.
So what? There's 3 Caddyshacks, or just 2?
No,
I think there's just 2. I think there's just 2, but we could save that discussion for another
I'm
cast.
surprised that you hadn't seen Weekend at Bernie's. You never let on. I had every inkling that you were quite familiar with them.
It's always been one of those movies on my radar, but I always find something better to watch. It's like, should I watch Weekend at Bernie's?
I don't know how that's possible.
No, that's how I was as a kid, too. Weekend at Bernie's, and especially Weekend at Bernie's 2, were on TV a lot. And I feel like I've maybe never seen these movies all the way through. Like,
Yeah,
I probably
I
watched parts of them on TV. There were bits that felt... I feel like maybe I watched Weekend at Bernie's 2 and not Weekend at Bernie's. Because I remembered Bernie's little dance a lot.
I know that I had never seen 2 ever, any part of it, and 1, I'm pretty sure as a kid I had seen it, but I remembered virtually nothing. So it was like a whole new experience for me.
Before we get into it, I want everyone to say in one sentence how they felt about the first Weekend at Bernie's. Just an overall view this time.
Whoa.
Like my opinion, or like a synopsis, like a one sentence?
No, your opinion. One sentence opinion.
All right, guest of honor.
Okay. One sentence. People be stupid.
Henry?
I don't think I can top that. It was very hard to get through one of the worst movies that I've seen in my life.
The first Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, we're not at 2 yet.
Okay.
Yep.
You ready for me?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
all-time summer classic that I'll watch once a year for the rest of my life.
I knew you were going to say that.
I couldn't believe how good it was.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, this is really genuine. Like, we talked about, like, what have I said that about recently, Hank? Like, you thought I would be really on board with Major League, and I liked it for the most part and stuff.
Right,
But
right.
like, remember how I was with Fletch,
Yes.
where I was so shocked how much I enjoyed it? I might
Mhm.
feel that way even more about Weekend at Bernie's.
I think there is. Did you bang your head recently, or anything like that of
No.
that nature? Okay.
No, I
All right.
loved it.
Were you on hallucinogenics?
No.
Or,
Sober.
psychoactives?
Sober.
Psychotropic.
106 days sober today, guys.
No, I know that. I
Yeah.
just thought
So
maybe-
this literally would have been the most sober you would have ever seen it in your life.
That's right.
Well, not life, but recent life.
Since I was 15, probably. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I'm telling
This will
you,
be fun. Wow.
I love it. All right, let's talk about it. Weekend at Bernie's.
He wanted to get right into that opinion.
Let's get into it.
He
I
couldn't wait.
wanted to set it up.
Yeah.
It's directed by Ted Kotcheff, who, I mean, probably best known for directing the first Rambo movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's also more recently been a directing producer on Law and Order SVU. That's what he's doing these days. And written by a fella named Robert Klein, who had a really good career going there for a while, and then wrote and directed Weekend at Bernie's 2, and his career fucking died. He like never worked
Yeah.
again.
What happened?
Well, we'll get to Weekend at Bernie's 2. I didn't feel the same way about Weekend at Bernie's 2. All right.
Okay.
This movie was released July 5th, 1989, July 4th weekend. And July 4th weekend, probably the most summer weekend of the year. And
Sure.
this is one of the most summer movies I've ever seen.
Okay.
It's a beautiful beach movie about two bros who are just breaking laws left and right so that they can have some more fun at the beach.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
That's the plot. I gotta tell you, Andrew McCarthy's character in Weekend at Bernie's might be my spiritual guide.
Yeah. Well, I will point out that for the most part, and I did write it down. He's the best part of the movie, and he is my MVP.
Mine too. I
He's
can't
great.
say enough about Andrew McCarthy.
Yeah,
I
he's-
never
he's
thought
really
that
good.
much about him. I actually like him more as a TV director than I do as an actor.
I know
Yeah,
that was super surprising of like his credits after this. I was amazed that he was still working after Weekend
Well-
at Bernie's too, let alone thriving like that.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
if either of you have never seen Less Than Zero, I recommend it. It's a really good movie.
Mhm.
And he's excellent in that. Have you seen it?
No, I've
Yeah.
read the book. I've heard the movie's bad,
Oh,
and
right.
so I never wanted to see it.
You should. Didn't Bret Easton Ellis write that?
Yeah, but I was 16 when I read it, so it was exciting.
Right, exactly. So you should see the movie now. It's good. It's got a good Downey thing going there. Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
And everybody involved is clearly not faking when they're doing all the drugs. So it's a lot
Certainly
of fun.
not Downey.
No, and not
Yeah.
McCarthy either. I don't think.
Mm.
He's kind of a method actor.
Yeah. Emphasis on meth.
Yeah.
A budget of $15 million for this film, box office of $30 million. It's not like a gigantic hit. I kind of thought it would have done better. Maybe it did really well on VHS or something.
I think
Yeah,
so.
but it still doubled its butt. I mean, it's not a flop.
No, it's not a flop. Doubled the budge. But, it's not like a huge hit. It was number 39 for the year.
Oh, okay,
Just ahead of Roadhouse.
nice.
Yeah. But just behind The Bear. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I remember that movie.
What is it?
No, I don't remember that.
It's a movie about a bear, and I think it's almost exclusively starring a bear. I don't even remember if there's a human in it. Yeah.
Really? It's not like Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin razzling a bear?
No, but funny you say that. I don't know how I know this. Probably because of my love for The Edge.
That's what I was referencing.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I know that. No shit. And I think it's the same bear.
No!
I think it is.
Is it also the same bear in that movie, Jack the Bear? Remember that movie?
Yeah, all three were Danny DeVito. Really?
Is it the same bear as in Grizzly Man?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe.
That,
sure, though.
that bear never worked again after Grizzly Man.
Oh. Hey man, too soon. Too soon.
Yeah, I think it's Bart the Bear. I think so.
Yeah, I know Bart the Bear is the one from The Edge. I remember
I think
that.
it's the same one. I might be looking that up while we continue here.
It's our world's most famous bear. You know, and it worked so well in The Edge that Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu was like, let's make our bear a cartoon!
All right.
Fuck that movie. All right. So here we have Weekend at Bernie's. It's a real odd couple situation. You got Andrew McCarthy and Jonathan Silverman. Jonathan Silverman's a little more straight-laced, the proverbial single guy, and he's he's wearing a suit and stuff. Andrew McCarthy's showing up wearing. Just always looking amazing in like.
Oh my god, his wardrobe in this was out of control.
It was my
Perfect.
first-
I would have
it was-
worn every stitch of clothing Andrew McCarthy has on in this movie.
It was my first note. Some pretty amazing clothes being worn here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's wearing killer Hawaiian shirts the whole movie. They all have nautical themes. He's wearing great shorts, long shorts, and like sea pants. And he's just
Ski pants.
yeah, like he looks like he should be a captain. And he's trolling around the entire movie wearing amazing purple chucks
Oh yes,
on his feet.
and chain smoking indoors too.
There's a lot of smoking.
constantly.
Yeah.
Which I guess during like the 80s that was still like pro cigarette or pre cigarette ban, so I guess
course.
everyone was smoking everywhere. But
Yeah.
it kind of made me think like how annoying would that have been to just like anywhere, just someone just walking by blowing smoke in your face. Which
Oh, I miss it.
I did like the joke where Bernie is smoking in his office, and then Andrew McCarthy tries to pull out a cigarette and join him, and Bernie stops him.
Yeah. That was classic. Bart the Bear was
Fuck you.
Bart the Bear was the bear in The Edge, and the bear and White Fang,
Oh,
wow.
and Legends of the Fall.
what a bear!
This
What?
bear's got a SAG card for sure, you know.
Well, you know
100%.
what? He likes working with Jean-Jacques Annaud because they made 2 movies together, so they must have a special relationship.
Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Does he have the
two-
same kind of relationship as DiCaprio had with that bear in The Revenant?
Hey man, that was consensual. It's cool.
It's true. It's true.
Everything's cool. Okay. Hey, when I take a drink, I've got 2 other hosts here. Someone speak.
I'm sorry. We don't have visual. We can't tell when you're going to take a drink.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, so it's a real New York movie at first. They're spending some great quality time in New York. We're getting all the classic updates on New York, like things you want to see. Great sort of setup shots establishing the city. There's an attempted mugging in Central Park, right? A bunch of
Right.
ethnics playing in a fire hydrant. It's all the things you want out of New York.
Actually, I
Classic
think
New York.
They're hanging out on a roof full of tar.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
That's classic New York for you. I mean, that's
I
what we would
think
always do.
The first 30 minutes were actually my favorite part of the movie.
Before they get to Bernie's?
Yeah, that's no joke. I actually thought I was actually kind of enjoying it. I thought it was somewhat funny.
And I think it really does capture summer in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that with Die Hard with a Vengeance. way
Yeah,
back
I was
when.
about to say that to me, Die Hard with a Vengeance is like the perfect New York City summer vibe.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I think Weekend at Bernie's got it. Stop.
Drinking some classic Coors on a rooftop in a
That's
little
right.
kiddie pool.
And you can tell they're unhappy because Andrew McCarthy has the line, "This sucks. I am so unhappy."
It's a little subtle, don't you think?
Yeah.
it was.
And Jonathan Silverman says, "We could go to the beach, but we're in New York. Maybe we'll go to Jones Beach and swim in all the hospital waste." I was into that. Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
you,
that
Long
was good.
Island.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what did we think? We all agree Andrew McCarthy's great.
Yes.
Yes.
What
It-
if-
like I wasn't expecting him to be like that over the top, like annoying for the sake of being annoying. I knew he was going to be like the goofy, because there's always that classic pairing of like the goofy sidekick and the straight guy, and he definitely took the goofy sidekick to its max.
You know what it reminded me of? Fucking Dante and Randall in Clerks.
Yeah, I can see that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know Andrew McCarthy auditioned for the Jonathan Silverman role, and he turned it down. He got offered that role, and after reading the script, liked the other part way better, and so he chose
I
to
didn't
play
know
it.
that.
Yeah.
So quick question: do you think this movie would have worked if the roles were flipped?
No, I think Andrew McCarthy could have played the Jonathan Silverman role probably better than Jonathan Silverman did, but Jonathan Silverman couldn't have played the Andrew McCarthy role.
Yeah, I couldn't see that.
Yeah.
No. You'd need a real prankster or something, you know?
Yeah. Need
Like-
one of those pranksters from Friday the 13th.
Yeah, you need someone like that. Who could it be?
John Cryer?
Oh, big time, big time. Get John Cryer. I'm fine with that.
Pretty in Pink reunion.
Yeah.
Chaw, I'm so unhappy.
Yeah, right. That would have worked.
Yeah. Fucking, it is a Pretty in Pink reunion. That's true.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
didn't even occur to me. I always think of John Cryer now in terms of Superman 4.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
who couldn't now?
He's changed
Yeah.
my life.
Right. I know.
Yeah. Okay, so what is it? Weekend at Bernie's. The plot. They work for an insurance company.
Well, maybe Aaron should give out the plot.
Yeah, Aaron. Hit us up with the plot.
Okay, yeah. So they work for an insurance company, and they found some loophole in which the funds for the company are being funneled into another account, or basically, from what they could tell, is that they found a loophole where the company's losing money.
It's a
So-
discrepancy in the funds.
Yes, and so they bring it up to their boss, the titular Bernie.
Yeah.
And Bernie is so pleased with this, with their find, that he's like, "Hey, how about you guys come out to my my place up in is it the Hamptons?
Oh yeah, it's the Hamptons
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah, how about you come over to my place over in the Hamptons, and we'll have a great weekend to celebrate this big achievement you found. You're going to save our company lots of money. Thank you so much." But secretly, Bernie, spoiler, Bernie was actually funneling the money to his own account. So he was actually setting these guys up to get whacked, as they say in the mob.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has a
And-
big dinner with some mobsters. And he is secretly sleeping with the mob boss's girlfriend.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tina franchise crossover from
What?
Friday the 13th Part 3.
Oh, interesting. Who'd she play in
Yeah.
that?
I don't know.
Okay. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. One of the
In-depth
girls.
coverage.
She has a fun fake New York voice, though.
Yeah.
She calls
Oh.
him Biney.
Boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
True.
It's charming.
Yeah. Boiny.
Yeah. And then she bone zones him after he dies. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, my
Okay.
Another Clerks thing.
Yeah.
Fun.
Wow.
Uncommon.
Clerks all over this place.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Uh,
then what happens?
Yeah, and so Bernie basically tries to hire the mob to whack these guys, but since they're getting wind of the alleged affair, which is actually extremely obvious because they don't even wait until they leave the the parking lot before they start making out or something.
They don't leave
Wasn't
the
there a scene?
restaurant. She starts giving him a fucking foot job under the table.
Yeah.
And so basically the mob is not too happy, so they say, hey, instead of us getting rid of these two jokers, let's kill Bernie instead. So they hire a hitman to go out to the Hamptons. They basically give Bernie an overdose of a mystery drug. Are we supposed to assume that it's heroin or just?
I thought heroin. Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah.
And then he leaves the syringe with the drugs in Bernie's coat pocket, just so you know that it was him that killed himself.
Right.
And then they leave him at his big beach bungalow, and moments afterwards, our two heroes arrive and find Bernie, and they everything starts off. They just assume he's just like hanging out, chilling, because that's what you do when you're a rich guy in the Hamptons. You just like get wasted and chill out.
Yeah.
And then they realize shortly thereafter that Bernie is in fact dead. They find the needle and the drugs in his pocket, and probably about 5 seconds later, an enormous party just erupts at Bernie's beach house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we get to see a very lively cast of local characters, because supposedly this is sort of like a floating party that happens in this neighborhood and happens all the time at Bernie's place, so people are cool with just breaking and entering, whatever.
Who is your favorite party goer?
So I don't remember my favorite, but the one part that stood out to me the most was the bodybuilders or the physical trainers.
Yes, that's what I was going to bring up.
They're walking past him, and by the way, this film is littered with ADR.
It is. It's bad.
And like as they're walking by, you hear like a really bad like Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. And he says, I had a note here. God, I can't find it. He's basically like, he says something along the lines like, "Oh, you got to pump some iron," but of course it's all ADR, so you don't see anyone. It's like their backs are turned to him.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene where one of the personal trainers comes up and is giving Bernie a back rub, and he's clearly reading the lines off of the script, because he's talking to Bernie but looking off camera, and he says like, "Hey Bernie, we're gonna work on your deltoids tomorrow, so you better be ready for intense workout, Bernie." Yeah. And
he's pulling a Marlon Brando there.
Yeah. They're both wearing like tank tops that say the name of their business on them, and their name of their business is Torsos and Tony. And I was wondering which one was Tony and which one was Torsos. They seemed to me. Was Hans and Franz happening around this time?
Yeah.
I think it must have been a Hans and Franz reference, even more than it was a Schwarzenegger reference.
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
And then we can't forget that one lady who just randomly walks up and she's just all like, "Oh, Bernie, you got any drugs I can score off of you?" And then she reaches in the pocket and finds the heroin and the needle, which this is the 80s, so people using sharing needles was still a thing too.
Sure.
So.
As long as you're not gay, it's safe.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, so it's not at all sketchy. Be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that basically clears up like some of the evidence from the.
And she just pops off screen with it, like she's like, "I guess I'll go shoot up in the bathroom." All right. It's great. It's great. See, Henry.
Yeah.
I love this section of the movie where they're just
section.
hanging out by the pool, partying, having some sweet beverages. I wrote down that it takes 20 minutes to get to Bernie's in this movie, and that's too long.
Actually, I thought it was 30.
No, you might be right, but I wrote down 20.
Well, or maybe 30 till he's dead.
That could be. That could be.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, here I'm just gonna full confession. I had written 2 stars about when it was sort of over, and then I dropped it to 1. But this discussion is helping a little bit also in contextualizing my feeling on the second one. So, you guys are doing a good job.
Dropping Weekend at Bernie's. I 1 star is shocking to me.
Well, I might be persuadable. We'll see.
Okay.
Sweet.
Come on, Dan. Let's sway him.
Okay, let's do it. All right.
I mean, I can't even imagine your rating, but I guess I can.
Oh, and then I had another line about ADR, like randomly throughout the party there'd just be ADR of "Hey Bernie, what a radical party!"
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it
stuff,
really is.
Bernie.
Yeah, we're really enjoying ourselves.
What a great weekend, Bernie.
Yeah, you look so alive tonight, Bernie. Yeah.
Oh man!
One guy completes a transaction with Bernie. He's trying to get him to invest in something.
He wants him to buy his Porsche.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then dead Bernie's head lolls, and he's like, "Oh yeah, finally, you agree."
Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed this part.
Yeah, the next day, they're hanging out by the pool because there's a heated pool, and Andrew McCarthy is broing out with dead Bernie, playing Monopoly with him. And is it Monopoly?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just loving it. And then, but before long, Bernie's mob girlfriend shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And she's looking for Bernie. She's mad at him for some reason. Is that right?
He was supposed to meet her, and she thinks he's cheating on him.
Right. But I mean,
Cheating
he didn't meet her because he's dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
Correct.
I love that about this movie. It is really dark if you think about it. It's a comedy, like a broad, straightforward comedy about a dead guy. And but there's a lot of physical comedy too, and the physical comedy is just bright and crazy. Anytime Bernie was getting dragged behind a boat or whatever, or they were stringing his hand up to wave at people, or they were tying their shoelaces together so he could walk. I'm loving it.
Really?
Flying off of piers and getting hit by cars. Yeah.
So funny. I found myself laughing harder at this movie out loud than any movie in a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
think it's well directed. I think Ted Kotcheff is a good filmmaker.
I would say that. Yeah, I would say great filmmaker, but I would say this it was done a lot better than a lot of other comedies you could see today, especially any sort of straight to home video, slapstick comedy will be terribly directed, terribly edited, but this was it was a movie. It was a really
it was a real movie. We talk about that a lot on this podcast.
It's competently made. I mean, for sure. I think the great divide here is just simply whether you find the premise funny or not. And so then if you do or you don't, that's just going to make or break it for you personally. And
why didn't you?
I just didn't think it was funny. I mean, I think any movie that needs has a specific one-note gimmick like that, it's very hard to pull off. And I think going where you said it's very dark.
Yeah.
I think it isn't. And
I think
if it was, it might have been funny. But it's not dark.
The whole thing's about a dead guy who was murdered with a overdose, and then a lady sleeps with a corpse's body. That's
but it's done
pretty dark.
But it's not done that way.
I think the way it's done is a bolder choice than something like Very Bad Things, which is just so in your face about what a dark comedy we're making. I think Weekend at Bernie's, the fact that it gets wackier and wackier and less dark as it moves on only makes it darker, to the point where, like, when the gardener is showing up and, like, Jonathan Silverman is, like, knocking him out with a baseball bat because he thinks he's, like, a fucking assassin. Like, that's hilarious. You got those two guys lying on the floor. You got, like, Jonathan Silverman lying to his lady. You got fucking Bernie just being dragged behind by a fucking speedboat. I'm loving it.
Tiresome.
I'm
Just tiresome.
laughing. I'm laughing out loud, breathlessly.
I was counting the minutes.
Oh.
I was counting the minutes.
I got news for you, Henry. At one point, I checked how long was left in the movie, and it was
You were disappointed.
and it was 13 minutes, and
Yeah.
I had the thought I'd watch another hour of this.
Yeah,
So,
And then I was regretting that thought because I started Weekend at Bernie's too.
Okay, one thing I wanted to bring up about Weekend at Bernie's is Jonathan Silverman's character. You know, he takes that character, the awkward with girls character, pretty much to the full extreme. Like, both him and Andrew McCarthy take the tropes of their characters as far as they possibly can. Like, this guy is so awkward around women. Like, anytime, like, a woman walks by, he's like, oh,
Well, there is a love story element.
Which brings me to another point.
Yeah.
So, Catherine Mary Stewart, her character Gwen, she's pretty morbid in this film if you think about it. Because Jonathan Silverman, he's trying to sweet talk her, and he gets like really nervous, and so he starts bringing up like his like sick mom at one point, and then another point he brings up his
dead
like
aunt?
a dead aunt, and each time he says something dark, it's like almost immediately followed up with her being like, "Okay, let's make out now." Like that was the final straw. She's like, "I'm on the fence," but as soon as he starts bringing up like sick and dead people, she's just like, "Okay, I'm ready to do this."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the worst element of the movie, I think, because Gwen is not a character. She's a very attractive, charming young lady, and that's all she is. It's a super male-centric movie. They don't give a shit about women at all. Women are treated terribly in this movie.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, like, the Bernie corpse pretty much sexually harasses a handful of women through this whole thing, and it just played off as being all like, "Oh yeah, Bernie," because that means like even when he was alive, he was like, you know, a real scumbag. But I guess you're not supposed to really root for them in this,
Right? No, there's a lot of fun rigor mortis jokes in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we shouldn't. We should just. I mean, we've started to talk about it a couple times, but Dead Bernie.
Okay.
He has sex in this movie. His mobster girlfriend fucks him. And it's like good sex. And one of the darkest jokes of the movie is, I think it's Jonathan Silverman. Who says, I get yelled at when I just lay there. It might be Andrew McCarthy, but I loved that joke. It made me laugh out loud.
It's got to be Andrew McCarthy. That seems like more of his joke in this.
Yeah, it's true. Jonathan Silverman's jokes are just like, huh? That's the whole movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jonathan Silverman is the weak link of this movie in terms of the main cast. And you know that because very early on in the movie, when they're still in New York, you get scenes, like solo scenes, with some of our main characters. So, like, I thought the Bernie having dinner with the mobsters scene was very funny. Anytime Andrew McCarthy's on screen, I'm losing it. But then there's Jonathan Silverman going out on the date with Gwen. And it's the only part of the movie I got a little anxious for something to happen. It goes on a little too long. His father, who he doesn't tell her about, comes out in his underwear.
Oh yeah, I mean, what was that about? Like, I guess he didn't want to admit that he's living with his parents, but yeah, he's like, "Oh yeah, that's just my butler."
Right? It's ridiculous. Do you know who played his father?
No.
Director Ted Kotcheff in a cameo.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In a way, he's
my
kind of
new
the
favorite
father of
filmmaker.
this movie.
In a way, yeah. Do you know that Ted Kotcheff and Robert Klane, the writer and director, just recently in 2014 sued for profits that they feel
Right.
they deserve from Weekend at Bernie's?
I did read that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're talking about. Like part of the box office or VHS rentals or
Could
just
be
everything?
DVD, could be
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
are there I feel like there should be action
Figures?
figures or something. Yeah. I would
It
buy a
was the- it was
Bernie
the 80s.
action figure.
Yeah. Sure.
Or why not? Why stop there? We could just do like a life-size Bernie replica. That way, you could drag it behind your car and feel like you're part of the movie.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. You can buy Weekend at Bernie's 1 and Weekend at Bernie's 2. Weekend at Bernie's 1 would just be a rag doll, and then Weekend at Bernie's 2 could be like a robot, where like it's
Good
like a
dance.
big mouth Billy Bass or something, where like anytime music comes on in your house, that fucker gets up and dances. I'm into it.
Oh yeah.
It's true.
Oh, speaking of music, did any of you guys catch who wrote the main song, the "Some Like It Hot"
No,
song?
forget the song, Aaron. The whole score.
Oh, that's right. I forgot it was the whole score.
It is bonkers.
Henry, like you're the score soundtrack
no.
guy of.
No, I'm not.
The. Would you like to tell us some info about the score of Weekend at Bernie's?
The score was written by Andy Summers, member and guitarist of the Police.
Yes,
Yes,
that's right.
The third most talented member of the Police wrote the score for Weekend at Bernie's,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Some
Yeah,
like it hot. Some like it cold. Some never know.
It's true.
Did you write that down?
No, I just remembered it because it plays like 50 times during the movie.
Yeah. There's a lot of Caribbean stuff going on.
Oh, I love it. It's very summery. There's a lot of like fun conga drums. There's I feel like there's a lot of like keys. A lot of sweet keys.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
also wrote the score to another bad movie, Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
I've never seen that.
Oh, never saw
Oh,
it.
you'd probably love it.
I've seen the Police live, gang.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I wish they'd played some Weekend at Bernie's. I would have loved it. It was a weird concert. The opening act B-52s were way better than the Police, and
Huh.
there was this weird, creepy moment where they started doing every little thing she does as magic. And Sting brought out his 3 daughters, and they're just like dancing, and he starts like singing it to them.
Huh.
It was fucking weird. I thought he was gonna.
It is weird.
I thought he was gonna, get fucking, his groove on for like a week, like he does. What's that called that he does?
Tantric.
Tantric.
Notice the silence
Oh, yeah.
from Aaron and I, just letting you finish that thought.
Yeah, no problem.
Letting you finish it out.
No, it was creepy. I didn't like it one bit. Every little thing she does is magic. Get out of here. Don't want it. Don't sing sex songs to your daughters, Stig.
Yeah.
Not down.
Impressive. Copeland at a Starbucks.
What?
Because I don't mean to show you up, but I once saw Stuart Copeland at a Starbucks in Malibu.
Really?
So, that's pretty
How'd that
cool.
go?
Yeah, he put his when they called out his name, he said Stu, and I could see through it. I kind of looked at him, gave him a wink,
Nice.
and he like, yeah, you know what's up.
Aaron, as a drummer, is Stuart Copeland important to you?
I think he's a really good drummer for its time. Like he was one of the first white drummers to play that sort of rate of a rivalry between him and the Attraction. Was it Elvis Costello and the Attractions drummers, of who was the first drummer to do that sort of reggae beat in a white punk band sort of thing.
Sure.
But as a person, I hear he is really, really difficult to work with. I hear he's not the nicest guy. But as a drummer,
I feel like Andy Summers is maybe the only non-dick in that band.
I don't know. I don't know enough about the Police. I mean,
probably, yeah.
Yeah. 3.
Okay, so one thing that I think has to be addressed with the Weekend at Bernie's franchise is okay. So a dead body, from what I hear, when someone dies, there's a few things that happen. There's rigor mortis and bloating and loss of bowel control. So I'm pretty sure this whole film, Bernie would be fucking disgusting.
Yeah, he'd probably be pissing and shitting all over the place, yeah.
Yeah, but they bring him into the ocean a lot, so it cleans him up.
Oh, okay, never mind. That makes total sense.
You know, there's a lot of things in movies you never see characters shitting, and so, like, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. As Henry knows, I watched Encino Man twice recently.
I think everybody knows that.
Well, I've said it on 2 different podcasts, so yeah.
Right.
And one thing I thought a lot about watching that movie is this guy's not potty trained, Brendan Fraser. And so I bet you there are scenes that we are not privy to where Sean Astin is just wiping Brendan Fraser's butthole. Know what I'm saying? And so I thought about that in Weekend at Bernie's, and I wonder whether there was a scene where, like, while Jonathan Silverman is still sleeping and growing his disgusting 5 o'clock shadow, like Andrew McCarthy, as he's setting Bernie up to play Monopoly with him, is maybe giving him an old wiperoo.
You think so?
I wonder.
Huh.
I don't know. Maybe it's in the deleted scenes. I don't know.
Speaking of Bernie,
You got to see the director's cut.
I would love to watch the director's cut.
Sure you would.
Bernie is played by a fellow named Terry Kaiser, and from Nebraska. I happen to know that. And he is perfect.
He's also another crossover from Friday the 13th.
That's right.
yeah. He plays the doctor in Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. I do remember that. But I just think the look of Bernie with those sunglasses, the ever-present sunglasses, and that half smirk, that little half smile, I think it's iconic and perfect. To the point where someone draws a picture of Bernie at one point in this movie, and it's just like 2 dots for eyes, a mustache, and a half smile. And it looks like him.
I think that's in the second one.
Okay, fine.
On the voodoo doll.
Oh, yeah, it is. That was the best part of the second one.
Right.
So this begs the question, like, do you think any other actor could have done it better?
I honestly don't. And I toyed. Maybe Robin Williams could have been good.
Oh, God.
True. Although, I think he would have probably hammed it up a little too much. Like, it would have been, like, a lot more physical comedy where I think he hits that right amount of, like, where he's doing enough acting and then the rest of it is the dummy, where Robin Williams would have been more just him.
You're absolutely right. You don't really notice the performance of Terry Kaiser, which is what you want, because Bernie is just supposed to be dead. And I thought I toyed with making Terry Kaiser the MVP. Anybody else? No? I am on a fucking island with this movie.
He's in my top.
No, I told you McCarthy's my MVP.
No, me too, but I toyed with Terry Kaiser.
I could see that. Yeah, no,
I don't know how do you assess a performance like this? I mean, he's not. I don't even understand. I don't get. I mean, how do you do it?
It's the physical comedy. I think He's really good. He's flipping and flopping around, and I'm laughing.
And then in part 2, it gets definitely a lot more like wacky.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
part 2,
I think
he's
the first-
moving independently. He's moving independently in part 2. In part 1, he's just kind of moving where anyone takes him. So I don't know.
It's
how you-
perfect.
Okay, all right, yeah.
I'm loving it.
I did notice something when they discover the cache on Bernie's desk and like realize that they're going to be targeted. There were a couple of books at Bernie's desk.
What do you got?
One was I didn't get the title of the book, but the one said Robert Ludlum,
Makes sense.
and one said Elmore Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, both
So
huge influences on Weekend at Bernie's. I would.
That's
think.
what I thought immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is you can see a little Elmore Leonard in this movie.
Can you?
Yeah. It's like Get Shorty with a dead guy.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
You know, it's like imagine like Justified if Boyd Crowder was a dead guy and like Raylan had to just like tie his shoelaces to his.
All right. So Dan, I got a question for you,
Yeah.
and Aaron can answer this too.
Okay.
Now, I didn't see this other movie, but I know you did, Dan. That recent movie with Paul Dano, where he's got a dead guy on the beach with him?
Swiss Army Man.
Right. Okay. So,
Oh.
is that a better dead guy movie than this one?
It's a more interesting. It's a better movie. It's not as funny at all.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask you: are you interested in seeing more movies with dead protagonists?
No, I wasn't interested
Oh.
in seeing Weekend at Bernie's too. I just
Oh.
think this movie's great.
Okay. All right. No, I just wanted to know because it might be a genre that you enjoy. So I thought maybe if there's any other movies out there, I don't know that there is. There might be.
What are you talking about? People love zombies.
Well,
It's true.
Okay.
Remember that movie, My Boyfriend's Back, where
Oh, yeah.
the guy
Good-
was
good
a
pull.
zombie and the lady dates him.
I don't remember that.
Get out of here! Great movie. It must have come out like the same year as Weekend at Bernie's too.
But he's animated,
I want-
probably, right? He's like an animated person.
No,
not
no, he's like
dead.
right. He's a zombie and he can like talk
Yeah.
and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
If Bernie
He's
would have
like
been
slowly
a zombie,
decomposing the whole time.
if Bernie would have been a zombie, I might have been more on board.
I couldn't
guarantee
agree
you if
less.
They bring it back. Yeah, if they remade it today, it would have definitely been some zombie action happening.
Definitely. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. I would hate it. They should never remake this movie. It's a great movie as is. And you can't have him animated. The fun of it is the flipping and flopping.
I know. I'm teasing you.
Thank
Just
you.
the flipping and flopping just didn't work for me. So.
How about when that little kid buries him under sand?
Oh, speaking of another morbid character, that
Wait,
kid
wait,
is
wait.
fucking sick.
Do you know who that kid is?
No, I was guessing the director's son.
No. That kid still working today, gang.
Really?
Uh-huh.
He's not overdosed or anything?
Nope. He is a director by the name of Jason Woliner. And he is probably best known for his work in the comedy universe, directing every episode of Human Giant.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yes, I swear to God.
Wow.
And also every episode of the new Netflix revival of Mr. Show.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's wow. Okay.
I might have to
That
change my
little kid.
MVP now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
God.
He loves playing with dead Bernie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love when Bernie comes back at the end of the movie when they're like trying to put him into the ambulance and then he falls out of the ambulance and rolls down those steps and then just sort of pops up on the beach behind our heroes. And then that little kid comes back and buries him again. It's great.
Yeah, that kid will most certainly grow up to be a serial killer.
Well, yeah,
Oh, the character. Yeah.
the character
In the universe, in the Burniverse.
Yes, yeah. That kid is just loving playing with a dead guy. You can't get enough of it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, like, the only flaw in the movie, in terms of, in terms of the physics, is he spends a lot of time in the water, whether being dragged behind that boat or in the second one, he like walks underwater to find his money. Whatever, we'll get there. And he should be quite waterlogged, right?
You'd think so.
Most certainly.
Yeah.
You'd think so.
He should
But-
look weird. I feel like by the end of Weekend at Bernie's 2, he should look like that giant demon thing in Blade that you have to like ladle water on all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You want
Did
to
you know,
wrap?
Dan?
like-
You know this wasn't filmed in the Hamptons, though, right? It was filmed in North Carolina.
It was filmed in
yeah.
Wilmington, North Carolina, which is where they shot Dawson's Creek.
Oh, of course you know that. All right.
They,
Here, I thought
they
I
also shot One Tree Hill there. So I just
Oh.
want to say I've only referenced that show twice in the history of the podcast, both on episodes Aaron was on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad to be a part of that.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. And sort of towards the end of the movie, there's a scene where they're all paddling with Bernie. It's quite a bit like the end of Jaws. And Andrew McCarthy yells out, "I'm getting swimmer's ear," which made me laugh real hard. And I also like the use of Puccini in our final sequence.
Oh, that's right. I was gonna ask Henry. Can you name that composition?
Well, they were playing. They popped on a couple of things during that. What was it? During that last fight when McCarthy's right. He ties the guy up with the phone cord, right? Isn't there? That's when the music is playing. Or?
Yeah, it's when they catch some crime going on, and Andrew McCarthy's brilliant defense against being there is trying to say, "I'm blind."
Right. I heard Bizet's Carmen. That's what I heard. I didn't. I think you're right about some Puccini for a snippet, but I didn't get enough of it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely a Bizet's Carmen going on there.
Okay. It's a very cultured film.
It is.
Mhm.
It is sophisticated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you guys grade Weekend at Bernie's from 1 to 5?
Aaron.
I'm going to give this one a solid stiff rigor mortis 3.
Okay, I'm loving it. Henry.
Well, I was on the fence, and I think I'm going to go exactly where I was. 1 star.
1 star.
And my MVP is McCarthy, and my LVP is Robert Klein.
The writer.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your MVP and LVP, Aaron?
My MVP would be Andrew McCarthy's character, or Andrew McCarthy, of course. My LVP might be, I guess, Catherine Mary Stewart. She, like you said, she kind of was a non-character, but then again, that could be because of the writers. But,
Well, I was going to do the same thing. I was going to give her the LVP, but not because the actress was bad at all. It's just, she's the female lead, and she's not a fucking character.
I thought you guys would both go with Silverman based on how you were kind of talking about him.
Silverman is serviceable, but that's all he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely down towards the bottom, but yeah, I would have gone if it wasn't Andrew McCarthy for VIP or MVP, I would have gone for Terry Kaiser for sure. But definitely, yeah, LVP. I probably have to give that to Catherine.
All right. So now, Dan, you're up, buddy. Let's hear it.
I'm giving it a 5.
All right. Just dive You know what? I respect that, because if you were going to go 4, I was going to call bullshit.
No,
I mean,
I am
you
excited.
better go all in.
I'm
go all in.
excited by Weekend at Bernie's. I'll probably watch it again before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I am going to wholeheartedly recommend it if you've never seen it.
Okay.
Nice. You know what? And to be honest with you, I was actually shooting more for a 2-star, but Dan's enthusiasm, I think, bumped it up a star.
See, I'm used to it, his enthusiasm, so it didn't have as great an effect on me. But I applaud you for the.
Sometimes you're the enthusiastic one, Henry.
That's true,
Yeah.
for sure,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah. Look, I was looking for a conversion on my star rating, but it just didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. Is that the deepest divide between our star ratings? I don't think we've ever had a 1 and a 5.
A 1 and a 5.
That's a pretty big gap there.
That's a great point. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I mean,
This is like the most polarizing film in all of the franchise history.
It
So
could
Maybe.
be more polarizing.
maybe. I don't know, because I think even films I didn't like or you liked, or vice versa, we went probably 2-4, 2-5. I don't know if we ever did 1-5. That's big.
It's big.
Yeah. Big franchise news happening right now.
Yeah. Great. Great.
Yeah. All right.
All the news that's fit to print.
Yep.
You can look for that news tomorrow in the failing New York Times.
sad.
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 All right, gang. Let's move on to. Oh, and I just want to say my MVP is Andrew McCarthy. Just a guru of how to have a summer. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Weekend at Bernie's 2, gang. Let's
Right.
do this.
All right.
It comes 4 years later. Too long. Too long a wait. Get out of here. Directed and written by Robert Klain, who merely wrote the first Weekend at Bernie's.
Right.
Henry's LVP from Weekend at Bernie's. I mean, his career. He's written some famous movies, actually. He's like kind of a well-respected writer. He wrote Where's Papa, which is like a real cult classic.
Oh yeah, I've never seen it, but yeah.
I never have either, but people love that movie.
And what was it? He also did National Lampoon's Euro Vacation.
Yep. Yeah.
did?
He did. He wrote that movie.
The weakest of the trilogy.
Well, it's not a
not bad.
trilogy. There's 4 of them. And,
I call it. It's a trilogy to me.
No, it's not, and it's the third best one.
It's the third.
And-
Yeah, right. Okay, but I don't count Vegas Vacation. But I guess I have.
You have to
so-
count it. It's a movie that exists as part of that franchise. Frankly, you have to count Cousin Eddie's fucking Joyride or whatever the fuck those are called.
I forgot that they made it one of those.
They made 2 of those, Aaron.
Oh
holy
God,
shit.
that'll be a while.
Yeah, that's
have
what
fun with
stops
that,
me. That's what stops me every time I want to cover Vacation.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
He also wrote The Man with One Red Shoe, the Tom Hanks classic.
Ooh, that's bad. I've seen that.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
one movie that I know I've seen, but I have absolutely no recollection of.
I think
just know the box cover more than anything else.
Yeah,
His
me
wife-
too. Me too. He's looking real sassy on that box.
Yeah, I think his wife's in that. Rita Wilson, right?
Ugh.
Oh.
Oh, you don't like Rita Wilson?
No one cares.
You have strong feelings on Rita Wilson?
Yeah. She's like a Cape Capshaw. Like, get her out of here.
Oh, my. Wow. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Weekend at Bernie's, too.
Weekend at Bernie's 2. Released
Do it.
July 9th, 1993.
Okay.
A smaller budget than the first one of $7 million. And a box office of $12 million. Okay? It came in at number 94 for the year. Just ahead of Judgment Night.
I remember that.
The Ice-T classic. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sure.
And just below A Far Off Place.
Oh, I remember
What's that, Henry? That sounds like something you'd like.
No. No, I never saw it, and I do not even remember what it's about.
Merchant
Sorry.
Ivory, maybe?
Is it really?
I have no fucking idea.
I don't either, man.
Don't look at me. I don't even have any idea what that could be.
I'm gonna look at now. Now I'm curious.
I have the
No,
top
that's
10. I have the top 10 in box office of 1993, gang.
A far off place, by the way, Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, really? A
Yeah.
young Reese Witherspoon? It's like a Man in the Moon situation?
Yeah, directed by Mikhail Solomon. So I don't know what the fuck. Looks, there's an elephant on the cover, so it probably takes place in Africa.
Let's play a game. The
All
top
right.
10 movies of 1993.
Uh,
Aaron and Henry can participate.
oh,
Okay.
Number 10, it's a film featuring John Lithgow and a big 80s action star. And 90s.
Oh, cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger is correct.
nice, you win. God damn it.
Number 9 is a film starring many of the people that were involved in this week's protest.
Oh,
And it's black and white, except for a red dress.
Schindler's List.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah. They
Jesus,
blacked.
Dan.
They blacked and whited that whole movie, but Spielberg like missed this one red dress. He like,
Right.
You know.
Forgot it.
oh, he
forgot
must have been
about
so embarrassed when he saw the final cut.
I know.
Damn it.
Number 8, one of the worst movies I've ever seen in theaters, starring one of my favorite actors of all time and one of the most famous actresses of the day.
Oh.
Hmm.
Well, I need a little more than that.
I think it's a lawyer movie. All right. There's a bird in the title. There's also a kind of underwear.
Kind of. Jesus Christ. I don't know, man.
That's right. It's the Pelican Brief.
Oh,
Kind of underwear.
good one.
Thanks.
I saw that in theaters too.
Horrible. Number 7. It's
Wait, whoa. I'm not going to defend the Pelican Brief at all because I don't remember a thing about it. But you would have been, what, 7?
I got dragged by my parents.
Yeah, that was like, I don't feel like finding a babysitter night. That's-
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was bored.
that's fair.
Yeah. Number 7. It's a Clint movie. I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually a really good Clint movie.
In the Line of Fire?
Yeah, that's right.
You beat me to it.
Number 6. You've seen Basic Instinct. Did you like that movie? Yes, you did. How about some more sexy thrills?
That's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Basic
is it that
Instinct to
Linda
Electric Boogaloo.
Fiorentino?
No. What?
Is that Linda Fiorentino, David, what's his face?
No, as much as I know you'd love that. It's Indecent Proposal.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of Jade.
Oh.
Number 5, guys. Why don't you meet me at the top of a building for a
Sleepless in
nice...
Seattle.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Number 4. We really liked boring legal thrillers in 1993 as a country. So here's another one that's better than The
Firm.
Pelican Brief. That's right, The Firm. Well
Okay.
done.
John
No.
Grissom here.
Yeah, number 3, a film we've covered on the podcast.
The Fugitive.
That's right. Very good.
Oh.
Number 2, that's right. It was a drive-by fruiting.
This is
This is Doubtfire.
Yes, very good. And number 1,
Good pull.
thank you. Number 1, hang on to your butts.
Oh, it's good. Jurassic Park.
That's right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Hank, you couldn't get that one from Hang On to Your Butts?
Nope. I can't quote that movie at all.
That's
I
it.
just knew that Jurassic Park had to have been like the
Yeah.
number one.
I should have thought of that.
That's a Samuel L. Jackson line from that movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Hey, gang. Do you have your top 10 favorite movies of 1993 ready?
I have mine written 7 years ago. What about yours, Dan?
I am out of town this weekend, and I forgot my lists. So I banged one out 10 minutes before the podcast, but I feel really good about it.
Now, I have to ask you a question. Key question. Did you try to, from your recollection, do you think it mirrors at all your old list?
I think it largely does.
Okay.
But I think I was too snobby to put Groundhog Day on my old list, and now
Okay.
it's on mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Aaron?
I'm now pulling it up and I'm making a quick list. So if you guys want to go, I can give my list in a second.
Okay. Henry, what's your number 10?
True Romance.
Mine is Groundhog Day.
All right.
Aaron,
I will go with True Romance as well.
for number
That's
10.
definitely-
Okay.
This is very difficult, Aaron. I'm impressed to be doing that, pulling that up whilst reading it.
It's a good year. I had to cross some shit
Oh
out.
yeah, no, I'm looking at the list now. There's mine might be in no particular order, but
Right,
I'll
right.
just
That's
keep
fine.
going in.
That's fine.
Henry, number 9.
Number 9, Tombstone.
Okay.
it's a great
No,
movie.
no, it is. It's a very good movie. It didn't make my list, though. My number 9 is Mike Lee's Naked.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, good choice.
I'm gonna go with Demolition Man.
Great movie.
Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I think
Okay.
that might have been the movie that was on my original list that I replaced Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not on mine.
Yeah, great
Okay.
movie.
Number 8 for me is Manhattan Murder Mystery.
Ooh, very good.
Oh wow.
I have Carlito's Way.
Mm-hmm. Good
Mhm.
choice.
Aaron,
Aaron?
I'm gonna go with The Sandlot.
great movie.
Hey, it was one of my favorite films when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
sure.
just I brought it up during Major League as one of the great baseball movies. Mm-hmm.
Never saw it. My number 7 is Groundhog Day.
Okay. Mine is A Bronx Tale.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna go with Carlito's Way on this one.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
Number 6, In the Name of the Father.
Oh, Henry, that was on my original list, and I forgot it. I didn't.
Ah.
Yeah. That should be on
Tough
my
one.
list. Fuck.
Yeah, tough
All
one.
right. My number 6 on this list that I hammered out is Menace to Society.
I never saw that.
Good movie.
Yeah.
I love In the Name of
Fugitive.
the Father, though. That's a fucking great movie. All right, you have
It is a
The
good movie.
Fugitive. Yeah, that's great too.
Okay. Number 5, California.
With a K.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Great movie. Great movie.
Great movie.
I have it on my longer, my short, my whatever. I had to cross it out. My number 5 is Shortcuts.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Bobby Altman.
Sure.
Yeah.
Robert Altman. We're not friends with him.
Well, no one can be friends with him now.
It's true. It's a real Bernie situation.
That's right. Right. Well, maybe you could. He's dead. You like that kind of thing.
It's
All right.
true. Yeah. They palled around with Bernie. I could pal around with Robert Altman.
Yeah. yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Might be a little too waterlogged at this point.
Hey, that didn't stop the Rich and Larry.
Oh, good pull on their names. I couldn't have done that shit.
Wow. Yeah. Number 4.
Aaron, did you say your number 5? Oh,
yeah.
At this point, I think I'd be just pretty much mirroring you guys. So yeah, Groundhog's Day is
right,
going to
all
be on there.
I like that you gave it a plural. Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, because there's multiple days. I think multiple groundhogs. So what do you want? Come on.
Hey, yo.
It
Hey,
should be
yo.
called Groundhog Days.
Right.
How about that?
Z-E.
Yeah. Days. Oh, God. Under a much worse filmmaker, it would have been.
Yep. Sure. Number 4, I have Carlito's Way.
Okay. I have Jurassic Park.
Not on my list.
That's crazy.
I
It's a great movie.
have Tombstone.
Oh, okay. Hank?
Number 3, A Bronx Tale.
Very high. Okay. Good movie. My number 3 is True Romance. I thought it was far too low on your list.
It is far too low. You're
Yeah, I probably would have moved it up if I hadn't said it sooner.
Yeah, I would have moved Bronx Tale down or off now that I've heard some of your guys' choices, to be honest. But all right, Aaron, number 3.
Number 3, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Great movie.
Oh.
Not on my list, but great movie.
Oh, I agree. Number 2, The Fugitive.
Fugitive at number 2. You know, The Fugitive didn't make my list. And I wonder if
Yeah.
it was on my old list.
I don't know. When we covered it, you weren't that effusive about it. So
I love it. I wasn't.
I mean, you liked it. I don't remember you going nuts over it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Effusive was something I was not.
Right.
But it's a very good movie. My number, what are we on? 3?
2.
Yeah. No, right.
2.
2. My number 2 is Schindler's List.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron, number 2, second movie.
Dazed and Confused.
Very good.
And that'll
Spoilers for my
Yeah,
list.
exactly right. Number 1 for me was Schindler's List.
Understandable. Mine, you know, it's Schindler's List if we're like really making a list, like what are the best movies of night. But
Mhm.
I mean, I've watched Dazed and Confused a couple times a year for my entire life, and I'm not a big rewatcher. I love everything about Dazed and Confused. I think it's a perfect movie. That's my number 1.
Mhm.
All right. Aaron, the number 1 movie of 19... Oh, you already said it. No, you didn't.
No. Jurassic Park.
Love it.
Ooh, all right.
Just because, it had a huge impact on me when I saw it as a kid, and like
Sure.
even today when you go back and rewatch it, it's still really good.
It was my first ever favorite movie, and made me see all the other films of Steven Spielberg, and it holds up like a mother. It's great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not to mention its influence, like special effects in tons of films that came after it.
We'll probably cover it next summer when they put out like Jurassic World 2. Jeff Goldblum's in it.
Is that the moniker of the movie? Is
I
it-
don't
It's the
know.
official
It's
tag.
got to be something like that.
should be.
Land of Chaos, or
No, it should be Jurassic World 2. Jeff Goldblum's in it.
I
what it should
wish
be.
it. I mean, that's how they're promoting it, basically.
Right.
Let's find out. Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is the title.
Yeah.
It's coming out June 22nd, 2018. So get ready for our Jurassic Park coverage. Yeah. Don't even worry about it. Great cast. James Cromwell's in it. Ted
Oh,
Levine.
Okay.
Wow.
All the greats. Hmm. And Chris Pratt. Single
Of
and
course.
ready to mingle. Right?
That's right. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They
Right.
recently split.
Great divorce. That sweet D is going to be everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Get your Pratt dick over here. Get your Pratt dick.
Yeah, get ready. Get ready, Bryce Dallas. You're going to be chomping on that, baby.
Oh, my God.
All right. Let's talk about Weekend at Bernie's, too.
Oh, do we have to?
Yeah. We'll start off with the best part of the movie,
Hands down.
the animated opening credits.
Yeah.
I was loving it. And I got to tell you, the thought occurred to me when I was watching Weekend at Bernie's, the first one, that it would make a great animated series.
Totally.
Because time doesn't pass in animation. It could just be about two fun guys hanging out with like their dead friend. It's great.
Right.
It would be like the Beetlejuice cartoon.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, great cartoon.
But yeah, no. When the animated intro started, I was like, "Huh, this may not be so bad."
And
I had the opposite thought.
no, I was loving every second of that animated intro. And animated Bernie looks great. And I loved the song. That song that plays, the voodoo song, I was really enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I always know
Yeah.
when Henry disagrees with me a lot because he just responds to everything I say with an unenthused yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. I guess.
No, you don't have to be sorry. I'm just pointing it out.
No, it's interesting.
This is like the exact opposite of the Major League episodes.
It is. It kind of is. So we get a nice establishing section where they're showing that we're in New York. And the best part of this was like straight off the bat, Silverman and McCarthy walking up to the morgue, and they run into a guy, and the guy yells, "Hey, I'm walking here!"
Yeah.
Classic
that
New York.
was really
Classic.
strange. What was why do you, what's that about?
Because that's
Putting
New
that
York.
Yeah.
That's what people from outside of New York.
They think of Midnight Cowboy. Is that what they think of?
I don't even think that. I think that line is like indicative of New York.
Right, but
Hey
to
guys,
include it,
guys, we've all lived in New York before. Like, I mean, I personally can say not a day went by when someone didn't yell, "Hey, I'm walking here."
Sometimes me.
Exactly.
I just think it was fun to put that in another movie was an odd touch. Yeah.
It's in. I don't even think we should think of that as a Midnight Cowboy thing. That's just New
Yeah.
York.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I once tweeted like my favorite like. I was joking about when people say like a city is their favorite character in a movie.
Yes, that came up on our second podcast.
Because I hate that, and I think I said it on the podcast.
Yeah, you did. You
Yeah.
you gave me quite the beating for that.
No,
Yeah.
I said my favorite character in this movie was definitely New York, and my favorite line of New York dialogue in the movie was, "Hey, I'm walking here."
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Good reference to your own joke a year ago. Very, very well done.
that's my new thing. Like when I read
Yeah.
my tweet last episode.
Right,
Mhm.
right. Hey, why not, man? I don't have a problem with that.
No, I'm self-aggrandizing. It's my new character trait. Okay, so fucking whatever. What's the plot of this movie, Aaron?
Okay, so our heroes from the last Bernie's adventure, Rich and Larry, they go to the morgue, as you said before, and one of the as they're walking by, I think one of the morticians says like talks about how it's the holiday weekend, and boy, the bodies are sure piling up. Which, fun fact, my friend Dave, who's an emergency room doctor, says that there is, in fact, a giant spike during, like, summer holiday weekends in emergency room people, and, of course, with that, deaths.
There was also a giant spike in Bernie's pocket in the first weekend at Bernie's.
Oh!
Thank you.
Oh,
All right.
by the way.
No, let Aaron finish. Sorry.
Oh,
So, oh god, I'm trying. This was going to be a little harder to remember. So they go there to find Bernie's body for some reason. I think I don't even know why. Now that I'm looking at my notes,
come on.
but simultaneously, there's some voodoo lady who is aware of Bernie's hidden treasure ? And so
He
she
has a
sends
safety deposit box, but it's like buried underwater. Is
Yeah.
that right?
I think so.
yeah, and so this voodoo lady sends her two henchmen to go find the body. So they steal Bernie's body from the morgue. They take it to a nearby. It's a Triple X theater, right?
Yeah,
I think?
porn
Yeah.
theater in Times Square.
Yeah.
Those are the days.
They bring him into the restroom, the surprisingly clean looking restroom.
Although there is one sequence where one of those guys is crawling on the floor of the porn theater looking for that like mouse or whatever, and
a chicken.
a chicken, right? And it is the most repulsive thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
man.
Yeah, I think I might have like dry heaved at that part.
I kind of did, yeah. I gagged, just like what was happening on screen.
So yeah, these two dudes. I didn't write down the names. I know one of them's name was Charles, but I forgot to write down the other guy's name.
They're great. I was way more interested in these two voodoo guys than I was in Jonathan Silverman and Andrew McCarthy in this movie.
Okay, true.
I can actually tell you the other guy's name.
Mm-hmm.
Henry.
That's right.
Charles and Henry. It's like us. Charles is my middle name. And
you know what? Spitting image of you guys. Too.
I think so. Yeah. Except for the whole pigment issue. I one of those guys was the black dude that Jason Alexander, like George, worked with at the Yankees in Seinfeld.
Oh, really?
Oh
Yeah, I've been recently rewatching season 7 of Seinfeld, and I recognized him.
Well, the Voodoo Woman's right-hand man was a franchise crossover. He was in Alien Resurrection, the guy with the machine guns and the black Reds. Yeah.
How about that?
Huh.
Which, by the way, don't worry, listeners. I didn't forget the superhero count. We'll just do them all at the end.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's not many, so don't worry.
I'm
Oh, you
excited.
did it?
I tried.
Oh, all right.
But we'll say that for till the end.
Where were you, Aaron?
Okay, so they have a way to reanimate Bernie's corpse through voodoo, and part of the ceremony is they have to sacrifice a chicken, and they bring along a chicken, and then they lose the chicken, and as Dan mentioned, the chicken runs through the porno theater, and one of the henchmen is crawling face down in what I can only imagine is soda pop,
It's
popcorn, and a lot of jizz.
Yeah.
And then they can't find the chicken, so they grab a pigeon. And
At one point, though, they do find a chicken, but it turns out to be a chicken that just one of the porno theater patrons brought to the movie.
That's right.
Just a
He's like, oh no,
companion.
this is my chicken.
And he's just watching this porno movie, intently petting this chicken. It is fucking disgusting.
So guys, this quick question.
Yeah.
That guy fucking that chicken?
Oh, now we've come to our new segment. Is that guy fucking that chicken?
I don't have any music for that.
Damn it, Henry.
I'm sorry. I gotta get
Sleeping on the
ready.
job over
Yeah,
there.
I really am.
You got to work on that.
I gotta work on that. I'll have that ready for next time.
All right.
I would answer in the affirmative, though.
Okay, Dan.
Oh, that guy's fucking that chicken.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, so they can't find. Oh, thank you. That has been.
Is that guy fucking that chicken? Yeah.
Okay.
That might be it right there, man.
Okay.
Remix.
They can't find a chicken, so they grab a pigeon instead. Same thing. They finish the ritual, and since they didn't use the chicken, they used a pigeon instead. There's a hilarious side effect of this ritual where now whenever Bernie hears dance music, his corpse becomes any dance music. His corpse becomes reanimated, and he starts just doing a little Bernie dance.
Yeah. It's always the same dance. It's sort of like a conga line walk. And his head's bobbing. His head's always bobbing.
Head's always bobbing. That's how it all starts. That's when you know it's working. And
imagine this movie. Can I just say, he's always wearing sunglasses. Imagine the same exact movie if Bernie never wore sunglasses and you could just see his dead eyes. It would be way less fun. Those sunnies add a lot.
I think this is begging for an Eli Roth remake.
There you go.
Yeah.
Way more disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, it just disgusting on its take on women if it's Eli Roth. But yeah, he's always just like putting girls he wants to bang in his movies. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, the Bear Jew. I wish that character was played by Bart the Bear.
Oh my God! Yes. That movie is a perfect movie, but that's the only thing that could make it more perfect.
Yeah.
He even has one of the hats, the yarmulke.
Yeah, just put a yarmulke on Bart the Bear, and it makes Inglourious Basterds that much better.
Oh.
He does hate Nazis, that
God.
bear. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, and I would just that ending scene would have been so much better if it was a giant bear with a Top Gun blasting
All that.
Hitler in the face. Oh my God! You just put one of the best images in my head, Dan.
I was just
Thank
going to
you.
say, I smell a VHS hits coming on there.
Ooh, not bad.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'll narrate the shit out of that.
Tarantino, if you're listening, I would love the rights to your film to make that happen. Just let me know.
He'd be in. You should have put
Okay.
True Romance higher on that list, buddy.
No, honestly, True Romance deserves to be about 2 or 3 on my list.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, what else we got?
So, basically, also, whenever he dances towards his treasure. So that's
right.
the big key to it. So he is basically a walking treasure map. And basically, the two voodoo henchmen lose Bernie, and Bernie ends up back at the morgue just in time for Rich and Larry to show up.
He loses Bernie on. They lose Bernie on the subway, and
That's right.
when
Right.
the next time we see Bernie, he's missing all his clothes and like his everything. He got robbed off the subway, which would definitely happen in New York, but he still got his shades.
Yeah,
No
nobody
one.
took those.
I'm telling you, someone started to take them and they got so creeped out by Bernie's eyes under those that they put them back on.
Definitely.
Hundo.
So Rich and Larry, and I just remembered why they're picking him up, because they're picking up his body because they're claiming that they're related to Bernie. That way they can get some of his inheritance. So
Yeah,
they need to
they're
find his body.
getting fired by their company, no? And so
That's right.
they decide that like all that money they found that was being stolen by Bernie, well, we'll just steal it and have a great summer. The devotion these guys have to having a great summer is really understandable to me.
That's. I was just going to say that. I think that's one of the reasons you like it so much.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I also the best actor in this movie is in Weekend at Bernie's 2 is probably Barry Bostwick.
Oh yeah.
You think
And-
so?
Well,
Barry-
not the performance, just like in general.
Oh.
I forgot to mention Barry Bostwick. So Barry Bostwick plays Arthur Hummel, who's the VP of Bernie's company.
He's the
And-
head of security, I think.
Right.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. But he has them fired, but he also knows about Bernie's fortune, so he's trying to get in on the action. So he's chasing down Rich and Larry, which yet again I don't even remember how this happens, but yada yada yada. Everyone ends up in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Yeah, yeah, that's
which
true.
which this movie is pretty much a blatant commercial for the U.S. Virgin Islands at parts. Like there'll be just parts where there's just random like shots of like festivals going on and people dancing, and at the end there's a huge thank you to like the U.S. Virgin Islands
Tourist board. Yeah,
yeah. So
is there? What?
Yeah.
During the closing credits?
yeah.
yes.
Oh, I was out.
Oh, I was in, baby.
Henry, you didn't stick around through the whole credits.
The second I was sure that the movie was over, it was stop. Yep.
You weren't worried about like a stinger.
Samuel L.
Samuel L. Jackson
shows
showed
up.
I didn't think that Nick Fury would show up. I think I should have. Oh.
Bernie, we got another assignment for you.
I would
We gotta
love
get
it.
your ass to Mars.
Oh, holy fuck! When I watch that,
Well, like every franchise eventually ends up in space, so why
Well,
not?
that would have worked. That would have worked for this a little because there's no gravity, so Bernie could have been floating around life.
Oh my God, guys! we might have stumbled on a gold mine here.
Yeah. Bernie in space.
Copyright the franchise 2017.
He would
Bernie
just be
goes to space.
tumbling along the surface of Mars like a fucking tumbleweed. I would love it.
Oh, the ending could be like 2001: A Space Odyssey, where his lifeless corpse is just floating through space into like a vortex.
Yeah, a kaleidoscopic Imagiverse.
But the whole time, Some Like It Hot is playing. Guys, we gotta make this movie happen.
Oh, where are you, Ted Kotcheff? I need it. I'll settle for Robert Klein.
Oh my God.
Oh, ow.
Oh.
I do think the
Okay.
second movie was close in spirit to the first movie. Like Robert
Yes.
Klein brought along the script. Like the characters were there.
Yes, and I think both Rich and Larry's characters, like they definitely stayed true to them, but they were a little bit more muted this time.
And it's 4 years later, so Jonathan Silverman and Andrew McCarthy look 35.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
But
Yeah.
that's they've been partying up. They've been having some great summers, guys.
Does
Well-
this take place like the day after the
I
first
think
movie?
so.
Oh shit! You're
Right,
right.
dude.
No,
Yeah.
whoa. My bad. I was thinking that
Yeah.
this happened a while, but I guess it
No.
had to have happened the next day. Otherwise, the corpse would have been
Rotten.
I would
fucking
think so.
disgusting.
Yeah, our Mars movie would have to be a period piece about the space program in 1989.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Bernie was on the Challenger.
Oh,
Oh. Oh.
oh my God. Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Too much.
So I guess there's not much more to say about the plot besides like they go to the U.S. Virgin Islands. They're trying to track down this treasure, and then the voodoo henchmen catch up with them, and it turns into like a three-way chase between our heroes from the first film, the new voodoo henchmen, and Barry Bostwick's character.
Yeah,
all trying.
and they're racing against time too, because Jonathan Silverman took some kind of voodoo formula where he only has 24 hours to live, and he seems totally unconcerned by that.
Yeah.
Also, the voodoo henchmen, if they don't get Bernie's treasure back to the voodoo priestess, they're going to turn into goats.
Right.
Oh, I forgot about which pays off eventually.
They do turn into goats.
Which reminds me, I don't know why it reminds me, but since we brought up the chronology, at the end of the first one, Silverman's kind of, he's made it with that girl, right? Like, they're a thing.
I know, and she is not mentioned in this movie, and
She's gone.
he's
Not
trying
once.
he's trying to bone zone everybody on the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that did
then-
not take long. Like, if this is supposed to be, like you said, like immediately the next day, he dropped her like a hot sack of shit there.
It is, and
Yeah.
I really think it's Robert Klein showing total disdain towards the audience and to that actress and to women, just like assuming like, well, it's been 4 years since the first one came out, like that's not what people remember about this movie. We don't need to shoehorn Gwen in.
Right.
But they should have, man. It could have been like, you know, when they leave Jennifer on the porch in Back to the Future for like an entire movie.
yeah.
They should have just done that. You don't need Jonathan Silverman hitting on ladies.
Yeah, it's true. And then you find out that the, like, opposite is true, right? That Andrew McCarthy's character is actually a virgin.
We do find that out at the end.
Yeah.
And he's like 35.
Well, it is the Virgin Isles.
Yeah.
Right.
They could have made a sequel. Like, the 40-year-old virgin could have been about Andrew McCarthy's character in this movie.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, do you think the Virgin Island Tourist Board requested that one of the main characters be a virgin?
Maybe.
Ugh,
I don't know.
maybe.
Yeah.
And another thing is, I gotta say about this film. This film definitely feels a lot more toned down overall. Like, it's definitely not as dark. And there's not as many like. There's no necrophilia in this.
There's close. It's close.
It's close. Yeah,
He
it's
does
close in this
hook
one.
up with a lady,
Oh,
but they
right.
don't have
But-
sex. They just have a romantic night on the beach.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. It's way more like romantic in this one, which
Yeah, yeah.
you know, I Bernie is never like that. Bernie's a one and done kind of guy. You know,
Binding.
he's not. But then maybe he's aged, so maybe this is when he starts realizing it's time to like get a little bit more romantic. Like
Yeah.
That
can't
thing
be
in
a
his
lady-
pants might be soft by this point too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, this. I mean, yeah, that is a problem with this movie. It's also totally low stakes. The stakes are actually higher, technically, because they are breaking the law. They are going across like country lines to like steal money from a company, and they're hanging out with a dead guy, and Jonathan Silverman might die, and there's weird voodoo rituals, and people turning into goats and necromancy. It's fucking insane. And
true.
yet,
Yeah.
it feels like just nothing is going on. The
And,
entire movie.
and I guess they skipped the sequence of how they got Bernie into that suitcase, huh? They just they didn't pull the Americans thing.
I
on
know. I
him.
thought about the Americans just breaking
Yeah.
all of Bernie's legs to fit him in there.
Yeah. Yeah, they just all of a sudden he's in there. Yeah.
And also that brings up another thing. Airport security was definitely a little more lax back in the day, I suppose.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't think they even scanned that bag.
Did we
No.
get a plane scene?
Oh.
I think there's just an airport and then they show up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. And no, we do see an exterior shot of an airplane because it's a big American Airlines plane. But yeah, we never see them in it. They didn't pay for an airplane set. They only had $7 million to make this. At the end of the movie, they shoot Bernie in the head with a harpoon by accident, and then for the rest of the movie, Bernie just has a fucking arrow through his head.
Franchise crossover. Jason's
harpoon?
Yeah, Jason's harpoon.
Oh, that's
Friday
right.
the
Friday the 13th Part 3, I believe. Exactly
Yeah.
like the girl in the first one.
There you go.
Yeah. And a parrot shows up. They the chase goes through a big bird sale, and and Bernie gets a parrot on his shoulder. And I think after Weekend at Bernie's 2 and Home Alone 3, Henry, we've learned that parrots are comedy death.
Yeah, funny you bring up Home Alone because, yeah, I was going to say that along with, what was it, the 3 and 4 of that, for me, this was probably one of the most painful things to sit through.
This was not as bad as 4. It's not close to as bad as Hard Bodies 2, which I think is the worst movie we've ever covered.
Boy, I don't know. You're right. You're right about Home Alone. Hard Bodies 2. At least Grease was there. Yeah,
Grease?
the country.
Oh, right.
Well, with this movie, I gotta say, I was expecting it to be unwatchably bad, but it was almost slightly better than unwatchably bad.
It was,
I think
it was watchably bad.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
I gotta say I was going in with the worst, but it kind of barely went above my expectations, but my expectations were awful. So
Were they lower than the limbo line that Bernie is dancing under?
yes, most certainly.
All right.
Oh. What do you guys give it?
I'm giving it 1.
I'm giving it a 1. I as much as I want to boost it up to a 2, I can't do it. It's
I'm
just-
giving it a 2.
You are a whore for Bernie.
The summer vibe. And I liked the Bernie dance, and I enjoyed the new Black Voodoo Master characters.
They were good. Yeah.
And the animated opening. If for nothing else, the animated opening earns this movie a 2.
MVP,
Fair enough.
LVP?
MVP. I'll just go Andrew McCarthy again. Still great.
Okay.
No, you know what? Terry Kaiser. I'm giving Terry Kaiser my MVP.
All right. Yeah. My MVP is nobody,
Oh,
and my LVP is everybody.
Oh, great. That's a good joke. All right.
It's not a joke. I couldn't. What am I supposed to do? What do you want me to do?
Aaron, who's your MVP and LVP?
MVP by a mile is that animator at the.
There you go.
Yeah.
LVP, I think I'd have to give it to. Good God, man.
Chicken? Maybe the chicken?
I don't know, that chicken. Well, I don't know. Well, then again, the chicken who that guy was gonna fuck had a lot of layers to its character.
A lot of pathos there, man.
I guess maybe my LVP would have to be the U.S. Virgin Islands. You're on blast.
I'm into it. My LVP, jeez. I don't know, man.
Oh.
I'll go with those goats that the black guys turn into.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah, and the parrot. I'll go with the animals of this film.
All right. I see. Okay,
Yeah.
so a little vindication on my no one and everyone. You're picking animals. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
All right, that wraps up our coverage of Weekend at Bernie's. I guess we're
Oh.
ranking them 1-2.
Yes.
We never
Yes.
ranked Major League, Henry. What are we ranking that?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. I do have the superhero counts.
Oh,
for
of
these
course. What's the superhero count?
Well, Weekend at Bernie's won. I don't think I caught this, or if I did when we did Friday the 13th, I didn't say something else about it. Terry Kaiser was in Lois and Clark. Now, I think I might have mentioned that, but I never mentioned who he played in Lois and Clark.
Who's that?
H.G. Wells.
I can see it. That's fine. But why is H.G. Wells in Lois and Clark?
I don't know. That's why it's great. Yeah, great.
Maybe he ran around the world a bunch of times so we could go back to meet H.G. Wells.
Yeah, they tried to explain off Superman. And then Catherine Parks, who was in the Friday the 13th movie, who played Tina, the Boyne girlfriend. I don't know. Do we count? I can't remember if we count Zorro.
No, we don't count Zorro.
Because he's not technically but he does come from those dime cereals or whatever.
Oh,
so
what Zorro movie was she?
Well, I didn't know. All right, it's fine with me not to count it. I just thought we might get called out for it. So
fine, we'll
people
count
do
it.
that.
What do you got?
People do that. She was in a TV pilot called Zorro and Son, 1983.
Zorro and Son. Okay.
Uh-huh.
If it's not Zorro the Gay Blade, I don't care.
She played a character called Senorita Anita. All right.
Oh.
Yeah. I figured. Weekend at Bernie's 2. We got 2. Barry Bostwick.
The great Barry Bostwick of Rocky
great
Horror
Barry Bostwick.
Picture Show and Spin City fame.
And
What?
one of my personal favorite movies of all times, Megaforce.
Okay.
You got to look that shit up. It's
I
like
will.
he looks like Barry Gibbs from the Bee Gees, and he's in a post-apocalyptic world where him and an elite team are riding motorcycles that shoot rockets at tanks.
Does it have a sequel?
I don't think so. I hope to
Damn
God
it.
it does. It's if you guys haven't seen it, just look up on YouTube Megaforce flying motorcycle scene, and that's really the only thing you need to see. And you're welcome.
Will I
All
see
right.
Barry Bostwick in that scene?
you'll see a whole lot of Barry
Oh,
Bonds.
great.
all right, all right. He played a character in the new Batman Adventures called Irv Kleinman.
Oh, a Jew. Okay.
And our crossover Gary Dourdan from Alien Resurrection also was in Lois and Clark, playing a character named Ziggy.
Who's that actor?
Gary Dourdan, and Weekend at Bernie's 2, he's the guy, he's like the Voodoo Mistress's hitman wearing the suit at the end with the gun.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that.
That's
There's
that.
also you missed one.
Oh!
Let's hear it.
Okay, there's an actor named Pee Wee Piemonte or Piemonte, Piemonte. He plays a character Arnold, which fuck if I know. And he was in Batman and Robin as one of Harvey's thugs.
Nice, Aaron.
Harvey's
Well done.
Yeah.
Thugs?
Harvey Dent, right?
Yeah,
But he's not
exactly.
in Batman and Robin. Is
Yeah,
it the-
he is.
What?
Oh, no, he's not. You're right. He's not.
Oh,
Is it
hold
the
on.
cartoon?
Aaron.
Hold up there, Aaron. Hold up.
Hold up.
Hold up.
Maybe Batman Forever?
Maybe I wrote that down. Maybe it's Batman Forever, which is
Alright.
the one that's got to be the. Sorry guys, I dropped the ball on that one.
That's okay. It's still a
Hey,
good
Henry
point.
dropped it farther than you did.
It's true.
He didn't even get that shit. All right. Let's wrap it up, guys.
Right.
See Weekend at Bernie's. I'd like to plug the first Weekend at Bernie's for anyone that hasn't seen it.